Have you ever felt like you're moving through life, but not really living? You wake up, you rush through tasks, you check your phone, you drown yourself in noise, and yet deep inside, there's this faint whisper, a voice asking, is this it? Is this what all the rushing, all the chasing was meant to lead to? The truth is, many of us aren't living, we're just surviving, running on autopilot, chasing dreams that aren't even ours, trading our days for distractions, our nights for restless thoughts. We fill the silence with noise. We numb the discomfort with endless scrolling, consuming, forgetting, and somewhere along the way we lose something precious. We lose ourselves. But what if this wasn't the only way? What if you didn't have to drift through your own life like a passenger? What if you could wake up, see the chaos, feel the noise, and still choose your own path? This is where Stoicism begins. Not a cold philosophy, not a harsh denial of feelings, but a way to find peace in the storms, courage in uncertainty, and purpose in a world that keeps trying to distract us. The Stoics, Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, Epictetus, they lived through chaos. They faced betrayal, loss, failure, death, and yet they discovered a secret. That true strength, true power is not found in controlling the world outside, it is found within. Inside that place no storm can touch, inside that quiet room where your soul speaks clearly. If you're tired of drifting, if you're tired of giving your one precious life away to noise, fear, and regret, then maybe, just maybe, this is your moment. If you're ready to reclaim your time, to protect your peace, to live with your eyes open, this journey is yours. Scroll down before we dive deeper and write in the comments, I choose to live. Not for views, not for anyone else, but for you. For the part of you that's been waiting patiently for the rest of you to finally wake up. Let's begin. If you're ready to stop drifting, to stop giving your life away piece by piece, and to start owning every breath, every moment, every choice. This video is your beginning because there's something you must know. You are not broken. You are not lost beyond saving. You have simply been distracted, pulled away from your true self. And now you are waking up. Before we go deeper, before we uncover what the Stoics knew about living with power and peace, scroll down and write, I choose clarity. Not for anyone else, not for likes, not for views, but for you, for the you that refuses to keep sleepwalking through life. Let me tell you a story. There was once a man, successful on paper, busy every hour, always and on, always moving forward. But deep inside, he felt empty, no matter how much he earned, how many goals he checked off, how many praises he collected. At night, when the world grew quiet, he faced the truth. He had been living someone else's life, running someone else's race, fighting battles that weren't even his. One evening, while sitting alone in a coffee shop, watching strangers rush past the window, he had a thought that landed so hard he could barely breathe. If I keep going like this, one day I will die having never truly lived. That moment was the crack where the light began to seep in. He found a book, then a thought, then a new way of seeing. He discovered Stoicism, a simple idea, that while we cannot control the world, we can control ourselves, our mind, our heart, our soul, and from that day he chose to stop running. He chose to stand still, to live on purpose, to fight for his inner peace. No matter what storms raged outside, that man could be any of us, that moment. It could be this one. And this is where we begin. Now breathe slowly and let's start. Have you ever noticed how little of your mind truly belongs to you? From the moment we wake up to the moment we fall asleep, our minds are under siege. Advertisements telling us what to buy, social media telling us how to feel, news cycles telling us what to fear, bit by bit, click by click, scroll by scroll. Our inner fortress, the sacred space of our own thoughts, is being chipped away. Without even realizing it, we begin to crave what others crave, fear what others fear, dream what others dream, and somewhere along the way, we lose the purest thing we have, ourselves. The Stoics knew this long before algorithms ruled the world. They warned that the greatest danger to a soul was not war or famine, or even death. It was the slow, silent invasion of the mind. Think about it. First image. A young woman wakes up, grabs her phone before she even breathes. An endless stream of faces, bodies, achievements, before her feet even touch the ground. She already feels behind, less lost. She doesn't realize her day, her energy have already been hijacked. Second image. A man reads the news, every headline a scream, danger, fear, urgency. He carries this anxiety through the day, snapping at strangers. Losing sleep, feeling the weight of a world he cannot change. He doesn't realize he has given away his peace to forces that profit from his panic. Third image. A teenager watches influencers, sees polished smiles, curated lives. He looks around his simple, messy room and feels a quiet shame rise in his chest. He doesn't realize he has allowed fake standards to poison the soil of his own self-worth. The Stoics whispered across centuries, "You must protect your mind as you would a fortress under siege." Because once the enemy is inside, it is no longer your mind. It becomes their playground, their battlefield, their profit machine. Today, we live in a world of invisible sieges, attention merchants, fear traffickers, approval addicts. They do not need to break down your walls. They simply need you to leave the gates open. Protecting your mind starts with seeing the siege, seeing where your thoughts come from, who profits from your emotions, what you're being trained to want, without your consent. Not with paranoia, not with anger, but with awareness, with courage, with care. Imagine your mind like a garden, a sacred inner temple. Every thought that enters is either a seed or a weed. The question is, who are you letting plant inside you? The world will not stop shouting, but you can choose to close the gates, to stand guard at the door of your mind, and to welcome in only what is true, what is kind, what is yours. This is the first step, and from here, we build. Not all attacks come with noise. Sometimes, the most dangerous invasions are silent. Manipulation rarely kicks down the door. It whispers. It offers what you think you need. It wears the face of a friend. It feels familiar, and that's why it is so powerful. The Stoics knew that the greatest battles are not fought in public squares. They are fought in the private corridors of the mind, where no one sees and no one applauds, but everything is at stake. First image. Imagine a co-worker constantly sowing doubt in subtle ways. Are you sure you're good enough for that promotion? Nay, people are saying you're not ready. They smile as they say it, and part of you starts believing them. You don't realize it yet, but they've planted a seed of self-doubt. Second image. Think about a partner who loves you, but constantly shifts blame. If you really loved me, you'd change. Now you're the reason I'm unhappy, and you start bending, shaping yourself into smaller and smaller versions, just to be us enough. Slowly, your self-respect, your own voice, fades. Third image. Look at the media, feeding you breaking news. Every hour, urgent, sensational, alarming, and in your quiet moments, you find yourself more afraid, more helpless than ever before. Not because the world got worse, but because your mind has been trained to expect crisis, The Stoics warned, be careful what you allow to impress itself upon your mind, for impressions can become chains. Manipulation thrives not by force, but by erosion. It doesn't shout, hey, obey me. It softly says, hey, trust me. I know better than you. And little by little, you surrender your thinking, your feeling, your being, until one day you wake up and realize you don't even know whose life you are living anymore. Guarding your soul begins with learning to see the whispers, asking, is this voice trying to free me or bind me? Does this make me stronger or smaller? Is this rooted in love or in control? The Stoic way is not about becoming cynical or distrustful of everyone. It's about becoming awakened, to listen with discernment, to filter with wisdom, to protect the sacred ground of your own mind. Imagine standing at the gates of your fortress. A traveler approaches, smiling, praising you, telling you everything you want to hear. But in their hands are tiny seeds of fear, of doubt, of neediness. Will you let them in, or will you smile back, bow your head politely, and close the gate, quietly, firmly, because not every visitor deserves a place inside your soul. Protect your mind, protect your heart, protect your inner world, because everything you experience outside begins with what you guard inside. Not all chains are made of iron. Some are invisible. Some wrap around the heart, the mind, the soul, until we find ourselves moving not by choice, but by guilt, by fear, by shame. Emotional blackmail is one of the most powerful forces that keeps us trapped. Not because the world isn't important, but because your soul was never designed to carry everything, only your piece of it, only your part. So today, when frustration rises, when fear whispers, when anger burns, ask yourself, is this mine to carry? If it is, carry it with strength and honor. If it isn't, it whispers, if you loved me, you'd do this. If you cared, you'd give up your dreams. If you leave, you'll destroy me. And because we are human, because we long to love, to be loved, we listen, we bend, we betray ourselves to keep the peace, to avoid the crushing weight of being all selfish. First image, a daughter told by her parents she is ungrateful for choosing a life they don't understand. After all we've done for you, they say. And she stays in a city she hates, in a job she despises, living a life not out of love, but out of debt. Second image, a man in a relationship where every knock is punished with silence. If you cared, you'd sacrifice more. If you loved me, you'd know what I need. And so he gives again and again, until there is nothing left to give, except resentment and emptiness. Third image, a friend who only calls when they need something, who measures your loyalty by how much you bleed for them, and when you finally say, man, enough. They call you selfish, cold, heartless, and you wonder, am I a bad person for simply choosing to protect your own peace? The Stoics warned us that true bondage does not come from chains outside. It comes from chains inside, chains made of misplaced duty, twisted love, corrupted loyalty. Recognizing emotional blackmail is not about becoming cold. It's about seeing clearly. Love does not demand self-betrayal. True connection does not ask you to abandon your own soul. Healthy loyalty does not come with chains attached. When someone says, if you loved me, you would. Remember, love that must be proven through sacrifice is not love. It is control, it is fear, it is the opposite of freedom. The Stoic path is a path of clear eyes, open hearts, and strong boundaries. It says, I can love you without destroying myself, and I can care without surrendering my soul, and I can be loyal without being enslaved. Imagine standing at a crossroads. One path leads to endless bending, giving, not breaking. The other path leads to standing tall, choosing yourself with quiet strength, not out of cruelty but out of love. Love for the life only you can live. Love for the soul only you can guard. Emotional blackmail loses its power the moment you remember your soul is not for sale, not to guilt, not to fear, not to anyone ever. To survive this world, we are often taught two extremes. Either you feel everything and drown, or you feel nothing and harden. But Stoicism teaches a third way, a way of detachment without losing warmth, a way to stand still without freezing your heart. Detachment is not about becoming indifferent. It's about loving fully while letting go of the need to control. It's about caring deeply without losing your center. It's about walking through life with open hands, not closed fists. First image. A woman loves her son deeply. She guides, she protects, but she understands. He must walk his own path, face his own storms. She does not control him through fear. She stands beside him with courage and trust. Second image. A man watches his business collapse. He mourns the loss. He feels the sting, but he knows his worth was never tied to his successes nor his failures. He rises because he knows he is more than his circumstances. Third image. A traveler falls in love, but when the seasons change and the journey calls them to different paths, he lets go. Not because he loved less, but because he honors both the memory and the future. The Stoics taught, hold everything as if it were borrowed, because in truth, it is. Your job, your relationships, your reputation, even your body, all of it is temporary. All of it is a gift, not a guarantee. Detachment means embracing the beauty of this life without clinging to it so tightly that you crush it. It means loving boldly, but not needing possession, giving fully, but not expecting return, standing strong, even when the world shifts beneath your feet. Imagine holding a bird in your hand. If you squeeze too hard, you kill it. If you hold too loosely, it flies away too soon. But if you hold it gently, lovingly, it stays freely. This is true strength, to remain soft yet unbreakable, to stay open yet grounded, to live among the shifting sands without becoming lost. The world may offer you pain and loss and change, but you can offer the world a soul that remains untouched, a heart that beats not out of fear, but out of love, a life not clinging desperately, but flowing freely. Detachment is not the absence of love, it is the highest form of it, to love purely, without trying to own, to care deeply, without trying to control, to stand present, without trying to possess the future. In a world obsessed with holding on, you can be the one who lets go. Not because you are weak, but because you are finally free. The fastest way to lose your peace is to fight battles that were never yours to fight, to grip, to grasp, to rage at things you were never meant to control. The Stoics taught a simple truth. There are two kinds of things in life. Things you can control and things you cannot. And the wise life is learning to know the difference. First image. You send a heartfelt message to a friend. Hours pass, no reply. Your mind spins stories. Did I say something wrong? Are they mad at me? Did they ever really care? Their response, their thoughts, their moods are not within your control. Only your own thoughts, your own peace are. Second image. You pour your heart into a project. You work hard, sacrifice sleep, give your very best, and still the promotion goes to someone else. The company's decision, their biases, the office politics are not within your control. Only your effort, your integrity, your growth are. Third image. You care deeply about the world. You see injustice, violence, suffering. You ache to change it all. But a single soul cannot control the vast tides of history. Only your actions, your compassion, your daily choices are. Every time we cling to what we cannot control, we suffer, we rage against the rain. Instead of learning how to dance in it, we curse the wind. Instead of adjusting our sails, we break our hearts over things that were never ours to command. The Stoics didn't teach passivity, they taught radical focus. Control what you can, your mindset, your values, your response, your energy, your attention, and release what you cannot. Other people's opinions, outcomes, the past, the weather, the tides of history. Imagine carrying two backpacks. One is light, filled with things you can control. The other is filled with the weight of everything you can't. The economy, other people's choices, the past, the future. Which backpack do you think will crush you? Choosing peace means choosing to set down the second backpack, lay it down, breathe, and walk on. Because the secret to peace is not found in controlling the chaos around you. It's found in mastering the calm within you. Everywhere you look, the world screams, hurry, you're falling behind, you're missing out. The rush, the panic, the constant noise. It pounds against us, demanding we move faster, react quicker, decide now. But the Stoics knew something. The faster the world spins, the more important it becomes to stand still inside. First image. A college student scrolls through social media. Everyone seems ahead. They've started companies, traveled the world, found love, found a success. He feels a pit in his stomach. I'm behind, and I'm wasting time. And I need to catch up. So he rushes into decisions, careers he doesn't want, relationships he doesn't need, and wakes up one day realizing he ran fast, but in the wrong direction. Second image. A young woman builds a startup. Every mentor, every article, every investor pushes her. Scale faster. Move faster. Crush your competition. She sacrifices sleep, health, friendships. But one night, staring at her computer screen, exhausted and hollow, she realizes she built something impressive, but lost something irreplaceable. Herself. Third image. A father feels pressure. Get a bigger house, a better car, more status. So he works endless hours, missing soccer games, family dinners, quiet moments, and by the time he realizes what he traded for the race. The race has long since ended. The Stoics taught, don't let others dictate the pace of your soul. Because when you rush, you stop choosing. When you rush, you let fear drive you. When you rush, you lose yourself to someone else's clock. Grounding yourself means choosing stillness, even when the world accelerates. It means asking, is this urgency real or manufactured? Is this pace healthy or harmful? Is this race even mine to run? Imagine standing on a busy street, crowds rushing past you, panic in their eyes, desperation in their footsteps. You feel the pull, the pressure, but you plant your feet. You breathe, you refuse to be swept away. This is not weakness, this is power. The power to move, not because you're being pushed, but because you have chosen to move. The power to live, not on borrowed urgency, but on your own quiet intention. Today, the world will try to rush you. Deadlines, opinions, fears, they will shout, they will push, but you can stay grounded. You can move at the speed of your soul. You can walk with peace in your steps. Because in the end, it's not about how fast you live. It's about how deeply chaos is everywhere. on the streets, on the news, on our screens, sometimes even in our own homes. The world rages, spins, burns, and the temptation is to let the chaos outside become the chaos inside. But the Stoics knew a different way. They taught us, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength key. First image. A man is cut off in traffic. The driver in front shouts insults, raises a fist. The man feels his blood boil. The old pattern rises. Fight back. And show them they can't treat me like that. But then he remembers their anger is theirs. Their chaos does not have to become his. He breathes. He lets it go. He drives on. Still his. Second image. A young woman reads a cruel comment online, mocking her work, her appearance, her worth. For a moment, the ground shakes beneath her, self-doubt or rage, shame, all clawing at her heart. But she closes her eyes and remembers. Their words are reflections of them, not her truth, not her identity. She smiles and keeps creating. She protects her inner world. Third image. A worker faces unexpected layoffs. The company closes. The future shatters. Panic spreads among colleagues. What will we do? How will we survive? But he stands still. He feels the fear, acknowledges it, but he knows. He still controls his effort, his mindset, his response. He dusts off his resume and begins again. With courage. The world outside will always be unstable. Markets crash, relationships shift, plans crumble, dreams die. But the question is not, will chaos happen? The question is, will I let it define me? The Stoic warrior does not deny the storm. He simply refuses to let the storm enter his soul. He feels the winds, but does not lose his footing. He hears the thunder, but keeps moving. Imagine standing in a hurricane. The winds howl, the rain stings, but at the center there is a quiet eye, a place untouched, a place still. That place is you. Emotional stability is not a denial of reality. It is the recognition that while the world swirls, screams, breaks, you can still choose. Calm, clarity, courage, today. When chaos calls your name, pause, breathe, remember. The chaos outside is not your master. The noise outside is not your identity. You are the eye of the storm. You are the stillness inside the spinning world. Your free life is not fair. It never promised to be. Sometimes the lazy get promoted, the cruel get celebrated, the liars get ahead, and the honest, the kind, the hardworking. They are overlooked, dismissed, forgotten. When unfairness stings, the temptation is to rage, to shout. It's not fair. I deserve better. Why me? But the Stoics whisper something different. They teach. You cannot control the fairness of the world, but you can control the fairness of your soul. First image. A worker trains a newcomer, shares his knowledge, gives his best, only to watch the newcomer get promoted above him. He feels the fire rise, bitterness, jealousy, betrayal. But then he remembers he did his part with integrity, and no external injustice can erase the value of his actions. He smiles and keeps walking his path. Second image. A young artist pours years into her craft, only to see influencers with half the talent get all the fame. She aches with frustration. Why not me? Why don't they see? But deep inside, a steadier voice whispers, create because it is who you are, not for applause, not for permission. And so she paints, not for the world, but for her own soul. Third image. A man is falsely accused. Lies spread faster than truth. He loses friends, reputation, opportunities. He wants to fight, to scream. but he chooses instead to let time reveal. What anger never could, he holds fast to his character, his truth, his inner peace. The Stoics understood. Life is not a courtroom, it is a battlefield. And sometimes, the most powerful response to injustice is to refuse to become unjust yourself. You cannot stop the world from being unfair, but you can stop the world from making you bitter. You cannot stop betrayal, but you can choose not to betray yourself. You cannot control others, but you can master your own soul. Imagine standing in a crowd, everyone screaming for vengeance, everyone demanding payback. But you stand silent, strong, clear. You carry no hatred, no need to harm. You carry only your own light, unstained, untouched. This is true freedom, not freedom from pain, but freedom from becoming what hurt you, not freedom from injustice, but freedom from infection. Today, when unfairness strikes, pause, breathe, and ask, will I let this injustice turn me into something I am not? Or will I stay true to myself, no matter what? Because in the end, fairness is rare, but character is a choice, your choice. Not every battle is fought with weapons. Some battles are fought with whispers. Now breathe and stay awake. Lesson 3. Recognize and defend against modern manipulations. Sometimes, the greatest battles are fought inside, silently. There's a hunger. Inside every human soul, a hunger to be seen, to be valued, to be loved. It's natural, it's human, but in the wrong hands, that hunger becomes a weapon. Today, approval is a currency. Likes, shares, followers, badges, trophies, tiny signals flashing. You matter, tanan you belong, tanana you are winning. But here's the truth. Most of these signals are fake. They are manufactured, designed, engineered to keep you chasing, to keep you hungry. First image. A teenager posts a photo, checks the likes every few minutes, feels a rush when the hearts climb, feels a pit when they don't. Without even realizing it, their worth, their mood, their sense of self becomes tied to strangers' taps. Not real love, not real connection, just numbers, empty numbers. Second image. A young entrepreneur starts a business. Instead of focusing on building value, she focuses on appearances. She buys followers, buys fake engagement, curates a perfect image, and when the applause comes, it feels good for a moment. But deep down, there's a hollow ache because she knows it's not real, it's a mask. Third image. A man spends years molding himself, changing how he dresses, how he talks, what he believes, all to fit in, all to gain approval. And one day, he looks in the mirror and sees a stranger staring back. He has the applause, but he lost himself. The Stoics warned us that if you hunger for applause, you will become a slave to the crowd. External approval is a moving target. No matter how fast you run, it runs faster. No matter how much you achieve, it demands more. And the moment you tie your value to the fickle winds of public opinion, you lose control, you lose your center, you lose your peace. Imagine chasing a mirage, running harder, longer, only to find there was never water there, only more desert. The solution is not to become bitter, it's to become clear. To know that your worth is not up for public vote, that your soul does not require an audience, that your value is inherent, unshakable, unbreakable, unbiddable. Today, when the pull of approval tugs at you, pause, breathe, ask, am I doing this because it feels true? Or am I doing this because I want applause? Because applause fades, likes fade, followers fade, but living in truth, that endures, that liberates, that brings a peace, no crowd, no platform, no stranger could ever give you. You are not here to win a popularity contest. You are here to live a life that is yours. Not every lie is shouted. Some lies are whispered so softly that we start to confuse them with our own thoughts. This is how gaslighting works. It doesn't attack you with force. It twists your reality, slowly, until you doubt yourself more than you doubt the liar. Gaslighting is emotional manipulation. It makes you question your memory, your instincts, your judgment, until eventually you surrender your mind to someone else's story. First image, a partner forgets something hurtful they said. When confronted, they laugh. You're too sensitive. No, you always exaggerate. That never happened. At first, you defend yourself. But over time, you start to wonder, maybe I'm too emotional, Sin. Maybe I did imagine it. Slowly, you stop trusting your own mind. And that's exactly the point. Second image. A boss sets impossible deadlines, then blames you when projects fall short. You just don't manage your time well, but everyone else seems to handle it fine. You start working longer, harder, pushing yourself past exhaustion, trying to fix a problem that was never yours to fix, carrying a weight that was never yours to carry. Third image. A parent criticizes relentlessly. I'm only hard on you because I love you. No, you're too weak to handle real life. And so you grow up, believing that love feels like walking on eggshells, believing that you must earn kindness. Prove your worth, hide your wounds just to survive. The Stoics warned us, guard your mind, for it is the source of your life. When you are gaslit, you are being taught to surrender your mind, to trust their version of events over your own lived reality, to abandon yourself. And once you abandon yourself, you become easy to control. Emotional projection is the twin of gaslighting. It happens when someone, instead of facing their own darkness, throws it onto you. Their anger becomes your fault. Their insecurities become your problem. Their chaos becomes your burden to carry. Imagine standing in front of a mirror, but instead of seeing your own reflection, you see all the fears, failures, and faults that someone else refuses to own. This is not your weight. This is not your shame. This is not your truth. Recognizing gaslighting and emotional projection is not about winning arguments. It's about reclaiming your inner ground. It's about remembering your memory is valid. Your feelings are real. Your instincts are trustworthy. You are not too sensitive. You are not too broken. You are not too weak. You are human, learning, healing, becoming. Today, when confusion clouds your mind, pause, breathe, and ask yourself, does this story make me stronger? Or does it make me doubt my own soul? If it weakens you, if it breaks you, it does not deserve your belief, because the first rule of freedom is simple. Trust yourself. Stand with yourself. Protect yourself, even, especially, when the world tries to rewrite who you are. Hurry. Limited time only. Last chance. The world shouts at us day after day, pushing us, rushing us, pressuring us to act before we think, to grab before we breathe, to obey before we understand. This is the power of scarcity, the feeling that if you don't act now, you'll lose everything, and if you're not careful. Scarcity will control your choices without you even realizing it. First image, a flash sale pops up online. Only 2 hours left. 90% claimed. Panic flares in your chest. If I don't buy it now, I'll miss out. You click, you spend, only to realize later you didn't even need it. Scarcity made the choice for you. Second image. A toxic relationship threatens you. If you walk away now, you'll regret it forever. No one else will ever love you like I do. The fear of losing love traps you, keeps you tied, To pain you should have left behind. Scarcity dresses itself as a lovage, but feels like a cage. Third image. A job opportunity dangles in front of you. Accept now, or we'll offer it to someone else. You feel the clock ticking. Even if the offer isn't right, even if your gut screams a no, you silence it. You leap because scarcity told you. Opportunities are rare. You're lucky to even be considered. Say yes, or lose everything. The Stoics knew this trick. They saw how fear of loss makes slaves of even the strongest souls. They taught, wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. Scarcity plays on your fears. Fear of missing out, fear of being left behind, fear of being unloved, fear of being at less than. And when fear rules your mind, you no longer choose. You react, you no longer decide, you comply. Imagine standing at a market, every vendor shouting, "Last one, going fast, don't miss out." Crowds rushing around you, but you stand still, you breathe, you remember. Not everything that is urgent is important. Not everything that is scarce is valuable. Choosing to pause, choosing to think, choosing to trust yourself is an act of rebellion. It's an act of power. It's how you reclaim your mind from the merchants of fear. Today, when urgency tugs at you, pause, ask, is this truly an opportunity? None, or is this fear dressed up as urgency? Do I really want this? Or am I just afraid of missing out? Because real opportunities don't require you to betray your gut. Real love doesn't rush you to surrender your soul. Real abundance isn't found in desperate grabs. It's found in calm clarity. It's found in knowing that no matter what the world screams, you are already enough. You already have what matters most. Your breath, your mind, your soul, and no ticking clock can ever take that from you. You are not a fortress without walls. You are a soul, a living soul, and without boundaries. The world will pour into you, their fears, their anger, their chaos, until one day you won't know where you end and they begin. Boundaries are not selfish, they are sacred. They are how we protect the inner garden of our peace. First image. A friend constantly calls, only to complain, to vent, to drain. Every time you hang up, you feel heavier, more burdened, but you say nothing. Because you don't want to seem jibbers unkind. And so, your peace, your energy are siphoned away, drop by drop, until you are empty. Second image. At work, your boss piles on tasks, late-night emails, weekend demands. If you really care about your career, you'll do this. You feel your health crumbling, your spirit fading, but you stay silent because you fear being labeled so difficult. And so your dreams, your life, become buried under expectations that were never yours to carry. Third image. In family gatherings, you endure backhanded comments. When will you settle down? When will you get a real job? You laugh it off, but inside, a small part of you shrinks each time. You allow their words to take root in your soil. You carry wounds that were never yours to bear. The Stoics taught, no one can harm you without your consent. Setting boundaries is not about building walls of anger. It's about drawing circles of love, circles that say, I love you, but I will not let you poison me. I respect you, but I will not abandon myself. And I walk beside you, but I will not carry your storms. Imagine your soul as a home, beautiful but fragile, sacred. Not everyone gets a key. Not everyone deserves to walk through your doors. Some people may knock gently. Some may try to break in. Some may not even realize they are muddying your floors. But you decide. You decide who stays. You decide who gets close. You decide what enters your mind and what remains outside. Today, when demands knock, pause, breathe. Ask, is this mine to carry? And is this good for my soul? If the answer is no, close the door with love, with grace, with courage. Because the world will not teach you how to protect yourself. It will teach you how to give yourself away, piece by piece, until there is nothing left but echoes. But you can choose a different path. You can choose to guard your peace, honor your soul, protect your mind. You can choose to be whole, and that choice is yours to make every day, every breath, every moment. Some trees stand silent while the storms rage around them, not because they are untouched, but because they are deeply rooted. Now breathe and find your ground. Lesson 4. Stay rooted in your own values. When you live by their praise, you die by their criticism. It starts so softly, a smile, a compliment, a pat on the back. You tell yourself it doesn't matter. You tell yourself you're immune. But slowly, the hooks sink in. You begin to measure your days by the warmth of other people's eyes. You begin to shape your words, your dreams, your life, to fit their expectations. At first, it feels harmless, a little compromise here, a little silence there. But make no mistake, every time you twist yourself to win someone else's approval, you lose a piece of yourself. An artist paints from the wildness of her heart. The first piece is raw, untamed, alive, and the world loves it, applauds it. She paints again, but now the applause lingers in her mind. Will they love this too? Without realizing, she starts chasing their cheers instead of chasing her truth. And the more she paints, the less it feels like hers. A young man speaks truth to power. His voice shakes the room. He feels invincible. Until one day, his truth cuts too deep, and the same crowd that once cheered turns away. If your courage depends on applause, it was never truly courage. It was only performance. A woman chooses a quiet life, simple joy, small circles, but the world mocks her. Dream bigger, will they say. Want more. She wavers. She questions until she remembers. A life lived loudly is not always a life lived true. Sometimes the most powerful rebellion is staying small and staying authentic. The Stoics taught freedom is the reward for those who refuse to be slaves to public opinion. Imagine walking through a crowded square, voices calling your name, some praising, some condemning, some offering crowns, some throwing stones. If you chase them, you are lost. But if you walk steadily, if you keep your gaze inward, you remain free. Today, when the need for approval whispers, pause, breathe, and ask, am I building my life or performing in theirs? Because applause fades, trends change, crowds forget. But the roots you plant in your own soul will hold you steady long after the noise has died and long after the world moves on. Some rivers change their course with every storm. Some mountains stay unmoved for 1,000 years. Now breathe and decide what you will be. When you betray your values, you lose yourself long before the world notices. The world is always asking for a little piece of you. Just this once, they whisper. It's no big deal, I'm not saying everyone does it. And so many fall, not because they are weak, but because they are tired. Tired of standing alone, tired of swimming against the tide, tired of being shown too much or none too different. But here's the truth. Every time you betray a piece of yourself, it gets easier to do it again. The first lie burns, the second stings. By the 10th, you barely notice. A politician starts out wanting to serve. He believes, he dreams. But the system is loud, the pressures are real. One small compromise, then another, until the man standing on the stage is a stranger to the boy who first believed. A student dreams of healing people, becomes a doctor, full of hope. But the hospital is a business. Efficiency over empathy, profit over people. The student becomes against the system, unless he chooses to remember, unless he refuses, even when refusal costs him comfort. A woman knows she deserves respect, but loneliness is heavy. She tolerates small insults, then bigger ones, until one day she wakes up, a stranger to herself. The Stoics taught, it is not death that a man should fear, but he should fear never beginning to live. Life is not about surviving the crowds. It's about surviving yourself, your doubt, your fatigue, your need to be liked. Imagine a warrior in the middle of a battlefield, not fighting enemies, fighting whispers in his own mind. Give up. It's easier when no one will know, but he stands anyway, Sword lowered, eyes clear today, when the easy way tempts you. Pause, breathe, and ask, if I lose the world, but keep my soul, have I really lost anything? Because every time you say yes to something that betrays your core, you say no to the life you were born to build, and no applause, no title, no victory is worth that cost. Some storms rip away the weak, some storms reveal the strong. Now breathe and hold fast. Your values are not for display, they are for battle. It's easy to talk about integrity when the sun is shining. It's easy to believe you're strong when no one is testing you. The real test comes in the chaos. When standing your ground, dark costs you something real. Respect, comfort, opportunity. That is when you find out what you truly worship. A young lawyer defends a case he knows is wrong. The money is good, the prestige tempting, he tells himself. Just this one time. Just for the experience. But inside, a small voice whispers, this is not who you are. And if he silences that voice long enough, it will go quiet forever. A woman speaks up at work, raises uncomfortable truths. She's labeled difficult, beat deed, uncooperative. The promotions pass her by. The rewards go to the silent ones. But she sleeps at night. Because she chose her integrity over her convenience. A man watches others cheat the system. Getting rich, getting famous, the temptation gnaws at him. Why not me? Why stay small? But he knows, building a house of lies means living in a house of fear. And he would rather have peace than empty applause. The Stoics taught, first tell yourself what kind of person you want to be, then do what you have to do. The world rewards compliance, but your soul rewards courage. Imagine a lighthouse in a violent sea. Waves crash, winds scream, but the light never wavers because it is built deep into the rock. Today, when pressure mounts, pause, breathe, and ask yourself, what will I choose when no one is watching? What will I choose when the cost feels too high? Because strength is not loud, it is not flashy, it is built quietly, in the dark, in the doubt, in the storms. And the life you build from that kind of strength cannot be bought, cannot be shaken, cannot be undone. Some doors promise the world, some doors lead to cages. Now breathe and choose wisely. Not every opportunity deserves your yes. The world will offer you so much. Money, status, fame, it will lay golden paths before your feet. Paths paved with expectations. Just bend a little and just say what they want to hear. Wanna just be who they need you to be. It sounds small, it feels harmless, but every small compromise is a thread pulled loose, and soon the whole fabric of who you are unravels. A musician dreams of creating truth, raw sounds, wild lyrics, but the industry wants easy songs. Safe songs. She faces a choice, sing what they demand, or sing what she believes. Selling out is easy, standing alone is hard. But she knows a song without soul is just noise. An entrepreneur has an idea, something honest, something rare. But the investors want faster returns. Cut corners, they say, chase trends. The temptation is real, success is waving at him. But deep down, he knows, building something fake only leads to building a life he cannot love. A teacher wants to challenge young minds, to awaken them. But the system whispers, don't push too hard, stay safe. Follow the script. She could play it safe, get the promotions, earn the praises, or she could plant seeds, invisible seeds, that bloom slowly, but last longer than any applause. The Stoics taught, if it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it. You are not here to please everyone. You are not here to be everything for everyone. You are here to live in alignment with the fire inside your bones. Imagine a ship in the open ocean. Storms rage, winds shift. But the captain does not throw away his compass just because the winds howl. He trusts it. He trusts himself. Today, when tempting doors open, pause, breathe, and whisper to yourself, not every open door is meant for me. Not every invitation is an opportunity. Because staying true, staying rooted, means saying no to everything that asks you to betray your soul. Some fires burn to destroy, some fires burn to refine. Now breathe and trust the fire inside you. The deeper your roots, the higher your soul can rise. Standing firm comes at a cost. You will lose some opportunities, you will lose some people, not because you were wrong, but because they were not ready for someone who could not be bought. The world will not always celebrate your refusal. Sometimes it will punish it, mock it, leave you standing alone. But what you keep is beyond price. A young man refuses to cheat, even when everyone around him does. He loses the scholarship. He watches others win through shortcuts, through betrayal. But he walks away with something they will never have. Pride without shame. A woman refuses to betray her art. Publishers reject her. Audiences ignore her. She watches safer, simpler voices rise faster, but she keeps writing year after year until one day her voice, untamed and unapologetic, becomes the lighthouse for thousands of souls. Searching for something real, a leader refuses to lie to save his position. The cost is immediate. Votes vanish. Support crumbles. But years later, long after the cowards have faded, his name remains, not as the richest, not as the most powerful, but as the rarest, a man who did not sell himself. The Stoics taught, waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. You are not here to be perfect. You are not here to be popular. You are here to stand where others fall, to speak when others are silent, to live in alignment with the unseen. Even when no one is watching, imagine a mighty oak standing through storm after storm. Its branches break, its bark scars, but its roots only drive deeper. It grows taller, not despite the storms, but because of them. Today, when loneliness tempts you, when doubt gnaws at your resolve, pause, breathe, and remember, you were not built for applause. You were not built for easy victories. You were built to endure, to shine, to root yourself so deeply that no storm, no rejection, no failure can uproot you. Because the deeper you root yourself in your own truth, the higher your soul can rise, unshakable, unbreakable, free. Some stones crack under pressure. Some stones become diamonds. Now breathe and find your strength. Lesson 5. Build unbreakable inner resilience. Your greatest strength isn't avoiding storms, it's dancing through them. Life does not spare anyone. It breaks, it bends, it bruises. There is no armor thick enough, no plan smart enough, no shield strong enough. The storms will find you, but resilience is not about hiding. It's not about running. It's not even about winning. Resilience is staying standing when every part of you wants to fall. A young woman loses everything. Home, career, love. She falls into the darkness, not once, not twice, but again and again. Each time she thinks she is finished. Each time she finds something deeper inside her. Not rage, not numbness, but a stubborn, aching, raw kind of hope. A boxer steps into the ring. Round after round, he is knocked down, bloodied, bruised, but he stands up. Every time. Not because he is the strongest, not because he is the fastest, but because he refuses to stay down. Resilience is not the absence of pain. It is the refusal to let pain define you. An immigrant lands in a foreign country. No friends, no language, no home. Doors slam shut, hearts turn cold. But he builds, day by day, smile by smile, stone by stone, until what was once alien becomes a new home. The Stoics taught, the greater the difficulty, the more glory in surmounting it. Pain does not diminish you, it reveals you. Loss does not end you, it refines you. Imagine a river carving through a canyon, not by force, not by fury, but by persistence, by refusing to stop. Today, when life feels heavy, pause, breathe, and remember, you do not have to be unbreakable. You only have to be unyielding. You only have to choose one more step, one more breath, one more small, courageous act of defiance against the darkness. Because resilience is not a crown you wear. It is a fire you carry inside, always burning. always waiting, always ready when you are. Some hearts shatter loudly, some hearts shatter quietly. Now breathe and keep your pieces close. Rock bottom is where real strength is born. There is a place where every dream seems dead, where every road seems closed, where every breath feels like a small rebellion against giving up. It is dark there, silent, cold. It is the place the world calls failure. But the Stoics knew it is also the place where true strength is forged. A man loses everything: career, home, family. The world moves on without him. The phone stops ringing, the lights dim. He has two choices: let bitterness rot him from the inside, or start again, from nothing, from the broken ground, from the ashes, and slowly, step by step, he rebuilds. Not the life he lost, but a new one, a truer one. A woman is betrayed by her closest friend. The pain feels unbearable, trust feels impossible. She vows to never open her heart again, safer, colder, untouched. But in time, she realizes a closed heart is not protection, it's a prison. So she chooses to love again, not because it's safe, but because it's brave. A young man battles addiction. Shame drags him under, relapse after relapse. Hope flickers, then fades, until one day he stops measuring himself by his falls and starts measuring himself by his willingness to rise. Recovery is not a straight road, it's a spiral, always moving inward, always demanding more honesty, more humility, more courage. The Stoics taught, he who is brave is free. Falling does not break you, staying down does. Suffering does not define you, surrendering your spirit does. Imagine a blacksmith at his forge, hammering and hammering red-hot iron. Every strike, every blow does not destroy, it shapes, it strengthens, it reveals. Today, when the darkness whispers, it's over, pause, breathe, and whisper back, not yet. Because the human spirit is not made of glass, it is made of fire. It bends, it burns, but it does not break unless you let it. And you weren't born to break, you were born to rise. Some winds try to tear you down, some winds teach you how to stand taller. Now breathe and lean into the wind. Pain is inevitable, growing stronger is optional. The world will hurt you. This is not a possibility, this is a certainty. You will lose. You will ache, you will stumble, you will question everything, your strength, your dreams, your worth. Pain will arrive uninvited, but pain is not the end. It is the teacher, the chisel, the fire, and how you respond determines everything. A father buries his child. The grief is unimaginable. Every breath hurts, every day feels endless, but slowly, instead of closing his heart, he uses the pain. He builds a foundation in memory. He creates scholarships. He helps others. He chooses to honor life, not be destroyed by death. A woman is humiliated publicly. Her career crumbles. The whispers are loud, the laughter cruel. She hides, she doubts, but in the silence, she discovers a voice that was never built on applause, a voice born from truth, not approval. She starts over, quietly, powerfully. A young boy grows up unwanted, ignored, abandoned. The world teaches him, you are nothing. But he refuses the lesson. He writes new stories, stories where kindness wins, stories where love is louder. He carries his scars, not as shame, but as proof that love was stronger than hate. The Stoics taught, difficulties strengthen the mind as labor does the body. Pain is not personal, it is part of being alive. Suffering is universal, but transformation is a choice. Imagine a seed buried deep underground. Cold, pressed down, forgotten, but inside, something stirs, something cracks, and slowly a sprout pushes toward the light. Not because it is easy, but because it must, today. When pain knocks, pause, breathe, and ask, what is this trying to teach me? How can I become stronger because of this? Because pain will either break you or build you, and the difference is how you choose to rise. And you were born to rise higher, no matter what tries to bury you. Some storms are meant to scare you. Some storms are meant to sculpt you. Now breathe and welcome the rain. The true resilience is silent, invisible, unbreakable. Real strength is not what the world sees. It's not muscles, it's not shouting, it's not winning every fight. It's quieter. It's the decision to get back up after no one is watching, to keep going. When no one is clapping, to believe again. Even when your heart feels cracked open, a soldier returns home broken. The medals shine, but inside, he fights battles no one can see. Nightmares, guilt, silence. The world calls him a hero, but the real heroism is waking up every day, choosing life again and again, even when it feels impossible. A widow sits alone at her kitchen table. The house is silent. The future, empty. She grieves, she breaks, but every morning she lights a candle, makes her tea, sits by the window. Small acts, tiny acts. Each one, a whisper of defiance against despair. A child faces cruelty at school, mockery, isolation. He learns to hide, to shrink, but something inside him refuses to die. He keeps dreaming, keeps laughing, keeps hoping, until one day, the boy who was broken becomes the man who heals others. The Stoics taught, no man is free who is not master of himself. Resilience is not about never feeling pain. It's about refusing to let pain be the end of your story. It's about building in the ruins. It's about trusting that even broken things can still bloom. Imagine a scar across a tree's bark. It looks ugly, it looks wrong, but the scar is a mark of survival, proof of life, proof of enduring the storm. Today, when your spirit feels tired, pause, breathe, and whisper, I am allowed to hurt. I am allowed to fall, but I am not allowed to give up. Because your strength was never about being untouched. It was always about rising anyway, bleeding anyway, believing anyway, and walking forward into the storm with nothing left to prove, only something left to become. Some roots grow deeper in drought. Some hearts grow stronger in darkness. Now breathe and feel the strength already inside you. Your resilience is not a gift, it's a skill built by every hard day you survived. Resilience is not something you are born with. It's something you earn piece by piece, day by day. Not through easy victories, but through invisible wars. Through nights you cried alone. Through mornings you dragged yourself out of bed when no one saw. Through choices you made to keep trying, to keep hoping, to keep living, even when it hurt, even when it didn't make sense. A woman loses her dream job, not once, but 3 times. Each time, the ground shifts under her feet. Each time, she grieves. But each time, she builds a new dream. Smaller maybe, quieter maybe, but hers, stronger. A man faces illness. His body rebels. Plans shatter. The future dims, but inside him a tiny, stubborn flame refuses to go out. He learns to cherish every step, every breath, every small joy. And in doing so, he finds a peace deeper than before the sickness. A boy grows up in chaos, violence, addiction, neglect. The world tells him, you are broken, you are doomed. But he chooses different. He chooses therapy, healing, kindness. He becomes the kind of man he never got to have. The Stoics taught, the greater the difficulty, the greater the glory. The world honors easy victories, but your soul honors every small step you took in the dark, in the fear, in the loneliness. Imagine a mountain rising through the mist. It doesn't shout, it doesn't race. It simply endures. It stands, silent, mighty. Today, when doubt creeps in, pause, breathe, and remind yourself, I am not weak for hurting. I am not broken for bending. I am strong because I refuse to stay down. Because real strength is not the absence of struggle. It is the presence of a spirit that refuses to quit, a spirit that knows storms pass, wounds heal, night ends, and you remain standing, rising, becoming, exactly as you were always meant to. Some hands grip too tightly and shatter what they love. Some hands learn to hold gently and set free. Now breathe and loosen your grip. Lesson 6. Master emotional detachment without losing your humanity. Detachment is not indifference, it's clarity and compassion. There's a lie we've been told that to care means to suffer. that to love means to lose ourselves. But the Stoics knew real love, real strength, come not from clinging, but from standing firm, detached, present, alive, without drowning. A woman gives her heart away recklessly. Every emotion pulls her like a tide. Joy lifts her high, grief crushes her low. Her peace is a hostage to every storm, until one day she learns, feeling deeply does not mean losing herself. She can witness the tides without being swept away. A man builds his worth on others' reactions. A smile lifts him, a frown destroys him. He becomes a puppet to the moods around him until he realizes his peace is his responsibility, not a prize to be handed out, not a thing to be negotiated. A mother watches her child struggle. The pain is unbearable. She wants to fix, to rescue, to control, but she learns. True love does not suffocate, it empowers. It holds space for others to grow, even when growth hurts. The Stoics taught, make your own approval your main concern. Detachment is not coldness. It's the art of holding life lightly, of caring deeply without clinging tightly. Imagine a bird perched lightly on your hand. You can feel its weight, its beauty, its life. But if you grip too tightly, you crush it. And if you open too suddenly, you lose it. The art is in the gentle hold. Today, when emotions surge, pause, breathe, and whisper, I can feel this without becoming this. I can love them without losing me. Because true mastery is not about suppressing your heart. It's about freeing it to feel fully and yet remain free. Some hearts build walls to survive. Some hearts build bridges to thrive. Now breathe and choose connection without chains. Detachment is strength with softness, not strength without feeling. The world will hurt you. That's a guarantee. Broken promises, unspoken betrayals, unexpected endings. It is tempting to armor up, to harden, to close. Never again, you whisper. I'll never feel this way again. But what the Stoics knew is that closing your heart does not protect you. It only imprisons you. A woman loves once and loses. The grief nearly breaks her. She vows to never love again. Safer this way, quieter, but inside, something sacred withers. Because we are not built to numb ourselves. We are built to feel. A man is betrayed by a friend. The knife cuts deep. The wound festers. He builds walls so high no one can enter, and in doing so, he becomes a ghost in his own life. The hurt still lives inside him, but now it lives without hope of healing. A young boy is mocked for showing emotion. He learns early, be tough. Gun don't cry, gun don't care. And so he buries his tenderness. But as he grows, he struggles to connect, struggles to trust, because when you bury pain, you bury joy with it too. The Stoics taught, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. Pain is inevitable. Hardening into stone is a choice. Imagine standing in the rain. You can rage against the sky. You can build a roof of fear, or you can stand there, soaked, shivering, but still soft, still open, still willing to dance, even when it hurts. Today, when the temptation to close rises, pause, breathe, and whisper, I can stay open. I can stay soft. I can stay free, even here. Because strength is not the absence of feeling. It's the ability to hold your heart wide open, even when the world tries to break it closed. Some minds drown in noise. Some minds find stillness, even in chaos. Now breathe and come back to yourself. Detachment is not withdrawing from life. It's learning how to stay sovereign in the middle of storms. Life will pull at you with headlines, with alarms, with everyone else's emergencies. Every message, every ping, every cry for attention wants a piece of you. If you don't learn to protect your mind, you will live scattered, divided, torn between 1,000 things and belonging to none. A man scrolls through the news for hours. War, famine, disaster. He wants to help. He aches for every story, but slowly he drowns in helplessness. His energy, his joy, his hope are devoured, not by the events themselves, but by carrying what was never his to carry alone. A woman takes on every burden at work, every project, every problem. She She believes if she says no, she will fail them. But the truth is, saying yes to everything is saying no to herself, and her spirit begins to wither. Piece by piece, a teenager is trapped in endless notifications. Every ding, every buzz demands his mind, pulls his attention, steals his peace until he forgets how silence feels, how stillness sounds. He forgets who he is without the noise. The Stoics taught, you must build up your life action by action and be content if each achieves its goal as far as possible. Detachment is not becoming cold, it's becoming clear. It's the ability to see the world burning and still choose your actions. Wisely, calmly, kindly. Imagine your mind as a garden. Not every weed deserves your time. Not every storm deserves your roots. Today, when the noise of the world tries to claim you, pause, breathe, and whisper, I choose my focus, and I choose my battles, and I choose what enters and what stays outside. Because sovereignty is not about fighting harder, it's about standing still. When everything else screams for your surrender, it's about protecting that small sacred flame inside you, where clarity lives, where courage grows, where peace cannot be taken by anyone but you. Some endings feel like death. Some endings are just rebirth in disguise. Now breathe and loosen your hands from what no longer serves your soul. Detachment is not giving up, it's choosing yourself. Over what tries to break you, you can love deeply and still let go. You can care fiercely and still say no. You can honor memories without becoming a prisoner of the past. True detachment is trust. Trust that what is meant for you will stay. Trust that what leaves was never yours. A woman clings to a dying friendship. She tries harder. She gives more. But one day, she wakes up and realizes real love does not demand self-erasure. She steps back, not with anger, but with peace. A man holds onto a dream that has expired, the version of success that once fueled him. But seasons change, and refusing to let go only breeds resentment. One night, he whispers a quiet goodbye to the boy he used to be and welcomes the man he is becoming. A father wrestles with his child's choices, different, unfamiliar. His fear says, control them. His love says, set them free. And so, he chooses trust over fear, freedom not over control. The Stoics taught, no man is free who is not master of himself. Letting go is not weakness, it is pure courage. Imagine a hand clutching water. The tighter the grip, the faster it slips away. But an open palm holds the water, gently, freely, without force. Today, when fear clenches your chest, pause, breathe, and say, I release what is not mine. I trust what is meant for me. I choose peace over panic. Because detachment is the highest form of love, it says, I see you, and I honor you, Kandu, and I let you be free. It says, I will not abandon myself in order to hold you. It says, my heart stays open, even when my hands must let go. And in that letting go, you reclaim something rare, something wild, something beautiful. Your own power, your own peace, your own freedom. Some lives are measured in years, some lives are measured in moments. Now breathe and come back to now. Lesson 7. Living fully without wasting moments. Life isn't short, it's just easily wasted. Most people are not living, they are waiting. Waiting for the right time, waiting for permission, waiting for the fear to leave. But life does not wait. It passes, silently, swiftly, without apology. A young woman dreams of traveling. She says, someday. But the years slip by. Responsibilities pile up. Doubts grow heavy. And someday never comes. A man plans to start his business. After one more degree, one more certification, he waits for the perfect moment, the perfect conditions, but the perfect time never arrives. Meanwhile, his dreams gather dust. A mother postpones her passions. Her children come first. Her family comes first. Everyone else comes first. She says, when they're grown, then I'll live for me. But by then, she has forgotten what it means to dream. The Stoics taught, You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think. Memento mori. Remember, you must die, not to scare you, but to awaken you, to remind you this moment is not a rehearsal. This breath is not guaranteed. This day is not disposable. Imagine a candle burning in a silent room. The flame flickers, steady, fragile. Every second, a little wax, a little time melts away. You cannot stop it. You cannot reverse it. You can only choose to burn brightly today. When procrastination whispers, later. Pause, breathe, and whisper back, now. I choose now. I live now. Because your life is not found in plans. It is found in presence. It is found in courage. It is found in the messy, breathtaking beauty of showing up fully before it's too late. Some dreams wait too long. Some dreams die quietly. Now breathe and give yours life. Someday is a lie. Only today is real. How many moments have we wasted? Waiting for perfect, waiting until we feel ready, waiting until someone else tells us it's okay. Meanwhile, life passes, the sunrise happens. Whether we look or not, the seasons change. Whether we notice or not, our time drains away, drop by drop, while we sit, getting ready to live. A woman has a story burning inside her, but she waits for the perfect words, waits for the perfect courage, and one day, she realizes the story has faded, not because it wasn't powerful, but because she waited too long. A man has love to give, but fear clutches his heart. What if he gets hurt? What if he looks foolish? So he guards, he withholds, he hesitates. And one day, the door closes, not because love failed, but because fear won. A teenager dreams of starting a movement. She has the passion, she has the fire, but she tells herself, maybe later, and later becomes never. The Stoics warned, do not act as if you were going to live 10,000 years. Death hangs over you while you live, while it is in your power. Be good. Goodness does not wait. Kindness does not wait. Courage does not wait. Life does not wait. Imagine standing at a river, watching it flow. You can dip your hands in, feel the coolness, the strength, or you can stand there, planning, debating, doubting, until the river passes and it never returns the same way again. Today, when hesitation grips you, pause, breathe, and say, I choose now. I choose courage. I choose to live. Because waiting is the silent killer of dreams, and your life deserves more than endless waiting rooms. It deserves action. It deserves bravery. It deserves your whole trembling, imperfect yes today, right now. Some chains are visible. Some chains are invisible, made of fear. Now breathe and break them. Living fully requires breaking free from invisible fears. Most people are not trapped by real obstacles. They are trapped by invisible ones. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of not being enough. And so they play small, they shrink, they hide, they settle. All the while their heart beats louder, their dreams call louder, but fear whispers louder still. A young artist hides her paintings. She fears ridicule. She fears rejection. And so, the world never sees her beauty. Not because it wasn't real, but because fear built a wall around it. A man works a job he despises. It drains him. It dims him. But he stays because fear says, at least it's safe. At least it's familiar. And so he trades his passion for comfort. A woman stays silent in a toxic relationship. She knows she deserves better. She knows she is worthy, but fear chains her to the familiar pain, because sometimes the known hell feels safer than the unknown freedom. The Stoics taught, we suffer more often in imagination than in reality. The chains we wear are often illusions, stories we tell ourselves, stories we outgrow, but cling to anyway. Imagine standing in a wide open field. Nothing holds you, nothing binds you. But if you believe you are caged, you will never run. you will never soar. You will stand there afraid of chains that don't exist. Today, when fear tries to whisper, you can't, that you shouldn't, and you'll fail. Pause, breathe, and shout back, I am free, and I choose courage, and I choose life, because true living requires risk, it requires discomfort, it requires burning down the walls built by fear, and building something wilder, something braver, something beautifully yours, because the life you crave is waiting for you, just on the other side of everything you are afraid to face. Some lives end quietly, not with violence, but with silence. Now breathe and choose to live loud. The tragedy is not death, it's never having lived. Most people do not fear dying, they fear never having lived. They fear looking back and seeing only hesitation, only regrets, only half steps. They fear realizing they built walls when they could have built bridges. A man spends decades at a job he hates, security, routine, but at night, he wonders, where did my life go? A woman spends her youth chasing perfection, perfect grades, perfect body, perfect approval, but in her pursuit, she misses sunsets, she misses laughter, she misses life. A young man fears making mistakes, so he chooses safe paths, predictable paths, but inside, a part of him wilts because his heart was made for adventure. The Stoics taught, it is not death that a man should fear, but he should fear never beginning to live. Life is not about perfect plans. It's about imperfect joy, imperfect love, imperfect courage. Imagine walking through a vast garden. Flowers bloom wildly, some crooked, some broken, all alive. No one apologizes, no one holds back. Everything grows simply because it must today, when self-doubt whispers, be careful, play small, wait longer. Pause, breathe, and whisper back, I am alive. And I choose courage. I choose messy, beautiful, real life, because perfection is a prison and freedom is found in living fully, with broken smiles, with shaky hands, with wide open arms, ready to catch every moment, ready to taste every breath, ready to risk being fully alive before it's too late. Some days feel ordinary, some days are miracles in disguise. Now breathe and see again. The true gift of life is not in someday, it's in today. We chase big moments, graduations, weddings, victories. We wait for fireworks, for milestones. But life happens quietly in the small moments, the unnoticed glances, the unexpected laughter, the simple kindnesses. Life is not found only in the mountains climbed. It is found in the breathless wonder of a single sunrise, a mother braiding her daughter's hair, a friend showing up when you are too tired to ask, the way your heart swells when a song hits you at exactly the right moment. The Stoics taught, he who lives in harmony with himself lives in harmony with the universe. Harmony is not someday, it is today. It is this moment. It is the coffee you sip in silence, the rain tapping against your window, the dog curled up at your feet. Imagine missing it all because you were too busy waiting for big things, waiting for perfect things. Meanwhile, the real life you prayed for was right there, waiting for you to notice. Today, when restlessness stirs, pause, breathe, and say, I choose to see, and I choose to be here. Days I choose life as it is, because joy is not hidden in a perfect future. It is hidden right now in the cracked smile of a stranger, in the imperfect meal shared with family, in the quiet knowing that this moment is enough. Today, choose presence, choose wonder, choose gratitude, choose the imperfect, messy, beautiful reality of being gloriously alive, not someday, not later, but now, because this moment is the only certainty you have, and it is already a miracle. The world will keep rushing, the noise will keep screaming, the clock will keep ticking, but you have a choice. To rush or to breathe, to fear or to trust, to waste your moments chasing what fades, or to root yourself deeply in what is real, what is eternal, what is yours. Today, choose life, not someday, not later, now, always now, because this moment is not coming back. And you are worthy of living it fully before you go. Pause, breathe, and in the comments, write it down. I choose now. Not for the algorithm, not for the views, but for you. Because some promises are too sacred, not to speak aloud.